Hey there, everybody. Starlight here. So, listen, today I want to share some insights with you that are absolutely game changing. And I don't say that lightly. This is a shift in mindset in how you approach your marketing, your conversations, your clients, your community that can have massive impact across the board. We encapsulate it here by calling it better leads, better clients. But let me tell you for sure is that better leads leads to better clients, leads to better results, leads to better testimonials, leads to better opportunities for your business, right? This is one of those things where, like, a small shift in how you're doing this can have a spectrum of benefit. But the reason that I'm bringing it to your attention today is because you're building a community, you're building a membership, which is all about turning your audience into followers, into people who can't get enough of you and join your community to have more access, right? And so this applies to you especially because it touches on each of those opportunities while also ensuring that you fill up your memberships and your community with top shelf people. Oh, by the way, I just finished moving. Everything is still in a little disarray and not as polished and fancy as I would like. But one thing that's super cool about this house is that I have so much space and I finally have a dedicated office space for the first time. So, you're tuning into the first video from whatever I'm going to call this Joe Bass little office, Bottled Lightning Central, and you'll get to see it evolve over the next however many Amazon orders. Okay. Anyways, so let's get into it today. Let me pop back over here to this. Okay, so here's the deal. At the end of the day, there's always a little bit of lack of confidence that comes from who might be in our audience and how they're reacting. Sometimes we see this manifest by getting a lot of likes and a lot of engagement off of social media posts. But then we don't actually see any money come in or any sales come in when we're ready to actually sell something. You end up with crappy sales because you thought people were interested, they were liking it, they were commenting, they were engaged. And then when you actually came out with the offer, the sales like fell flat in comparison to what you thought was happening. Another example of this might be that you have like high maintenance clients who don't do the work, who have a harder time following along, who you kind of have to like pull along by the ear a little bit. Sometimes there's this feeling like maybe you have an audience full of like tire kickers or freebie seekers, right? Sometimes you feel like maybe like if you're a social media manager or a virtual assistant or a really hardcore service provider, like a web designer or an OBM, that maybe you're like swimming in a crowd of a million other voices and wondering like how to stand out. This problem is rather universal. This is the secret, right? This is where we're like, the goal starts getting separated from the dirt. Okay. So, what do we really want? What we really want is we want to post on social media and see money come in. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? Posting on social media is to some degree fun and entertaining, but reality is for most of us, it's part of the way that we gather leads. And so we want to maximize the most amount of our time and ensure that we're posting things that actually bring in money uh, versus posting things that get a lot of engagement but don't bring in any dollars. Yeah. The second is obviously we want great clients with a good budget who are willing to throw down to get results. And not only that, maybe they're the motivated type and they're at the stage where they can really implement whatever it is that you're guiding them to do, or they can maximize what's happening inside of your membership and how you're supporting them. They're going to be your best group members. They're going to be the people who are just like killing it, getting results, leaving amazing testimonials. This is where you start to see the transformation of having a real impact in people's lives and delivering a massive transformation. I like to say this, it's tough to convince people to get off the struggle bus. People who are looking for the rocket ship to their next destination, those are the people who are really going to help your business make traction and help you grow, right? And so this applies in so many freaking levels. All right. So, mistakes to avoid. As we dive into this exercise, these are a few things I want you to just be super duper crispy clear about. One, We need to separate the idea that engagement equals cash. It just doesn't. 1,000 people can like a post and it brings 0 sales. 1,000 people can like a post about something that you're selling and it brings no sales, right? And so let's not confuse likes and follows for actual money, right? Today we're going to talk about money, right? Okay. The second is this is where we need to separate our desire to teach. Teachers, when they start thinking about their content, usually dive in at the lowest common denominator, the lowest foundation level, or they're just thinking from the bottom up first. In order to know this, and this, we got to start here, right? I want you to suspend your need to like give people all the steps before they get the good stuff. Just set that to the side for a minute while we talk about what we're thinking. And then the third is I want you to imagine like the term preaching to the choir. And if you find yourself in your audience and your list preaching to a lot of people that you would consider peers or more like you than like your clients, this is where we want to avoid that mistake and dive into this train. Okay. All right. So, by the way, this comes as a massive hat tip to JK Molina. He's somebody that I follow on Twitter, and he is a Twitter and clients consultant. If you're like into Twitter, he's the dude, JK Molina. This came from him and it blew my mind ever since. And so this is part of why I'm sharing it with you. There are two kinds of followers. There are fish and there are whales. Fish are tire kickers, they're freebie seekers. They can't afford you, but they might make you think that they can. Maybe you've ended up on phone calls with people like this where they really want to work with you, but they just don't have the budget. They may waste your time. They may not be qualified, but they're very entertained by you, right? So, but then there are whales, and whales are buyers. They can afford you. They respect your value and your time. They're qualified and they're interested in you, which is different there, right? Entertained versus interested. Important. And so when you think about this and you start to think about, okay, what is my messaging? How does it apply? A lot of you may actually find that you're trying to catch this, you're trying to catch a whale with something like this, and it's just not going to work, right? Let me give you a really specific example. I know of somebody who is a marketing consultant with an agency, killing it. They've got incredible experience. They're absolutely talented and primarily work with businesses who are hitting that $5 million a year up to like try to break through $10 million a year. That's where that's their freaking zone of genius, right? That's their whale, their ideal client. But what I saw them post on a social feed was like how I got my first client. Okay. If you were a business with 5 million plus in revenue looking to take your business to the next level, are you going to see how a consultant got their first client, or are you going to look for somebody with more experience? Right? You feel me? That like how I got my first client, sure, is going to get so much engagement. That's such an engaging, especially newbies. We're all just running around going, oh my God, how? Oh my God, how? Tell me, oh, how? And we see our email list get bigger and we see people be really interested in the post, asking questions. And you're like, yes, this is killing it. But your whale, your ideal target customer, swam right past it. Right? Okay. So, let's actually play a little game. What I want you to do is I want you to guess if something is a fish bait or whale bait, right? And then obviously I'll tell you what I think. How I went from poor to rich in 18 months. Fish bait. How to add 50K in annual recurring revenue in 90 days. Whale bait. You want to know why? Because babies, fish, aren't going to know what ARR stands for. And they're not really worried about it. Annual recurring revenue, they're still thinking about like how to get clients, how to deal with things. But now we're saying add 50K in annual recurring revenue in 90 days. Whales know what that means. Whales have the resources to make that. You see the difference there? These are just very clearly broad strokes, but like struggling to accomplish the bare minimum, you are going to get clients who are struggling to accomplish the bare minimum. Tough sell, tough sell. Ready to board a rocket ship to your next level? Okay. Now we're getting people who like fill in rocket ship to the results that you promise, accomplishing the bare minimum being the results that you accomplish. And you're going to see how it's the exact same statement, but it's written for two different kinds of fish. Yeah. Get my 5,000 tips on how to grow your email list. This is fish bait. The reason it is fish bait is because somebody with a really great email list who maybe has the money to afford you and actually like shake money out of their list is going to look at 5,000 tips and go, that's too much. And that's too much information. I couldn't possibly, I don't have time for that. If you're looking for clients who want you to do magic inside their email list, we don't overload them with a ton of information. We make it very easy for them to see that we're qualified, right? In the same vein of being useful and as a lead magnet, though, I wanted to give an alternative. So got 30,000 subscribers. Boom. We've talked about the whale and we've been very specific about who we're going for. 3 emails to send right now for money, right? 3 emails. I could send 3. Anybody with a list could fire off 3 emails if they needed to, right? But that 30K benchmarks the difference between the fish and the whales. Feel me? Okay. So what is whale hunting? There are 3 steps. It's very simple. 1, who is your whale? You need to be clear about it. Are they 6-figure plus businesses? Are they $1 million businesses? Are they businesses in a specific area? Are they businesses of a specific size? Are they just a dude with a golfing habit? Like, who is the person that is your ideal customer? You've done this 1,000 times. But look at them at a level where they're not sweet little babies starting at the beginning, right? We're talking about whales, not fish. And then answer questions with your content that a predator cares about, that a whale cares about, right? And finally, before you publish, ask yourself, would insert your target customer here actually be interested in this? And again, this is more than just your target customer. This is whale inside of your target customer audience. Now, for those of you who are like, oh my God, I'm a social media manager and I work with early stage businesses and my whales really are still whatever. Cool, cool, cool. You will still be able to grow your audience with people who are in early stages. They will learn faster and become more developed as members of your audience by speaking with elevated whale bait content rather than the lowest common denominator. And when they cross the bridge into being ready to work with you, they'll know exactly who got them to where they are, as well as you will stand out amazingly from all the other people who have similar messaging to you. So people who are in high competition areas, coaches, virtual assistants, social media managers, OBMs, service providers, marketers, like there's a lot of people out there regurgitating the same basic how to get started, launch in 30 days checklist. And that's fish bait. And now you know how to make whale bait. Yeah? So go catch a whale. Uh. All right, listen. This is something that doesn't just apply to your social media audience. This is something that applies to your email list, to how you speak to your clients, to how you onboard people into your community or membership, to how you treat people inside of your group coaching program. This has impact across the board because where you lead and treat your audience like whales, they're more likely to fall in line with that as well, right? Instead of treating like people who are having a hard time getting off the struggle bus, then everybody's going to have a hard time getting off the struggle bus because that's where we've set the bar. But if we've set the bar of like, let's rock it out, board the rocket ship to transformation and results, you will have people who are either at that level or striving to get to that level. And those are where your real impact Stars. Okay. I have 50 questions that you can ask yourself to create whale bait content, right? If you are a member of my free Facebook community, Community Membership Accelerator, you will find this list of 50 questions with this video in the guide as soon as it's all uploaded in Magic. If you're watching this video and there's an email list below or an email sign up below, pop your email info in there and I will send you the 50 questions. And if you're watching this video where there's no sign up thing, just comment whale bait and I'll make sure you get a copy of the 50 questions. Yeah? Okay. I think that's it from me. Here's to you killing it in the game. Go whale hunting. Yeah? This is Starlight. Talking to you later. Ciao.